Would you shut up and just push the button already?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
It's the Wisey Translator on the Wise Guys Sports Show.
I'm forever unclean.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the evening. It is the Wisey Translator. It is the best segment of the night because it is the last segment of the night. It is a time when James and I give each other names inside and outside of the sports world, and we come up with the first thing that pops into our head. Now, with our new format, we are still working on making sure the Chronicle still becomes the funniest part of yours and my day every day. So tonight, just to give you a little bit of flashback, the Wisey Translator has given us everything from Brett Favre being compared to a Dukes of Hazzard character, Joel Embiid being called out for what he is, a walking insurance claim, and Alex calling Dwayne Johnson a shitty actor. We have had the spectrum of pop culture and sports like no other with this wonderful thing that started with our first live draft react just a couple years ago. So, James, it is incumbent on me to give you the first name in tonight's translator, and that name, sir, is new Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike McCarthy.
They have had 4 head coaches since 1969. Nice. It's going to be 5 before the end of this decade because there's I'm going to totally kind of plagiarize the graphic I saw earlier that now the fact that Aaron Rodgers may not come back, they're one good quarterback and a number 1 receiver away from winning the Super Bowl in 2010. The Steelers are not going anywhere with Mike McCarthy as head coach.
No. Ironically, I think he's the best fit for them of the coaches that were out there. But no, they're not going much of anywhere.
But let's also think about that is that the names that you've been hearing getting thrown out for head coaching roles, we saw Harbaugh land in New York, basically the second the plane landed. Stefanski very quickly got gobbled up. Jesse Minter signed with Baltimore yesterday, which was a little surprising that he got gobbled up that fast. Grant Udinsky is likely going to have a job by Tuesday, whether it's Cleveland or Buffalo or somebody. And it might even be Wednesday just because he may not be able to fly into either one of those places with the blizzard that we're getting. There's teams that are waiting on, as we discussed earlier in the show, Shieldhouse with the Rams for them to finish up their playoff run. Sean McDermott's name is still out there. There was only 1 or 2 teams that legitimately were thinking Mike McCarthy because he's been out of football. He hasn't had a head coaching gig in a couple of years. Where did this come from? And Pittsburgh of all teams.
He's a Pittsburgh guy. He's from the area.
But you never really heard his name linked to that job other than that.
You didn't hear anybody linked to Pittsburgh at all. So I just think the way the Steelers do their business, this was going to be an off-the-radar hire. And by the way, that's kind of how Pittsburgh's hired every coach they've had. Bill Cowher was an off-the-radar hire. Mike Tomlin was an off-the-radar hire.
Now, I might have to go back and somebody might need to fact check me on this. Have we heard anything now that Pittsburgh's hired their guy and Cleveland it looks to be very close to their guy? Have either one of them filled the Rooney role? I don't remember hearing about a minority candidate being interviewed by the Steelers because realistically, from what I've been hearing, obviously McCarthy had 1, if not 2 interviews with them. How many more other guys could they have spoken with since Tomlin got let go?
I think they interviewed every internal candidate they had.
Yeah, but here's the thing. To satisfy the Rooney rule, that doesn't apply. It has to be an external candidate.
They don't advertise what they're doing. Plus it's their team that came up with the rule. So they're going to follow it. So I honestly believe that they have done their due diligence. They don't tell the press. They don't care to tell the press, and they just kind of do their thing.
Legally, they have to though, because it's got to be made public to the other
They
teams
have to
that
tell the
are out
league.
there.
They have to tell the league. They don't have to tell Shefty or Rappaport or anybody. They have to tell the league. The league disseminates that information.
Speaking of which, and this is not part of my translator. So if the Steelers have actually done their due diligence and none of this really got out, we've actually also seen the people talk about the Raiders being the laughing stock. When the Cleveland Browns are asking their candidates to write essays and four finalists dropped out.
I live in the Bible Belt South, and I have seen things, James. You have come to visit me. You have seen things. Jimmy Haslam might be the dumbest fucking redneck on the planet.
This might be an Andrew Berry thing, trying to prove that he's the smartest guy in the room, though.
This is Jimmy. This is Jimmy. Anytime it's a
If
dumbass
we're
idea, it's Jimmy.
if we record middle of next week and they still do not have a finalist or somebody named, we get to go off on them next week. That will already be a topic for next week.
Guaranteed. The question, though, is what kind of coach is Andrew Berry looking for? Is he looking for the young offensive mind? Because then there's your answer. He's waiting for Shieldhouse to get done with the season.
Or
We'll see
he's
what
waiting,
happens.
or he's basically got his mind made up that it's Grant Udinsky. He's just actually trying to see if he can keep Udinsky from getting on the plane and going to Buffalo.
Possibly. Possibly.
Michael, your name in the Wisey translator, you may not recognize the name, but when I actually describe what happened with it, you absolutely will because you saw this. He is now the author of two of the greatest NHL goalie highlights in the last 5 years. A few years ago, he scored on himself trying to play the puck on a clearing attempt on a power play while his team was shorthanded. Earlier this week, he was involved in the first goalie fight in
Bad.
6 years in the league, and it is San Jose Sharks goaltender Alex Nedeljkovic.
I remember the goal scoring against himself, and I thought, how dumb can you be? And then I watched him try and fight a dude, and I went, oh, that's how dumb you can be.
Coming the length of the ice, I mean, the second you actually cross the red line, you're immediately ejected. Um, it
Exactly.
was entertaining. There weren't a whole lot of shots that landed, but man, it was fun to actually, bring back a good old goalie fight.
It was good to see the goalie fight. The problem was more punches were landed by those Pee Wee kids than there were by the goalies in that fight.
and Nedeljkovic and Bobrovsky are likely going to be suspended at least one game for that.
Yeah, and Bobrovsky should have beat his ass more. Gonna
The
creep
fact
up
that
on me
San
like that,
Jose
I'm
is
gonna knock
this
you
good where
out.
they can get it. Yeah, the fact that San Jose is this good, that's actually the more foolish thing about it is that yeah, it was entertaining as hell. San Jose could right now they're sitting in a playoff spot just 2 years away from having the number one pick in the draft where they grab Macklin Celebrini, who I mean, if you look at Bedard, Celebrini, Adam Fantilli with the Blue Jackets, and what Schaefer is doing with the Islanders this year, where he is going to win the Calder Trophy as the league's top rookie in a walk. And they're also saying there's a lot of people saying he's going to finish top three in the Norris Trophy for best defenseman behind Kale McCarr and Zach Werenski. Um, San Jose's got something cooking, and you need your starting goaltender to be available night in, night out. It was a little foolish on the Nedeljkovic, but we're not going to complain for how entertaining it was.
Agreed.
It's no Steve Shields, Ray Emery, Ron Hextall, duking it out, or Billy Smith from the back in the '80s with those Islander teams wanting to throw hands. But I mean, it was good for what it was.
It was, and it was no Osgood Patrick Waugh either, which may have been the best goalie fight ever.
Yeah, that one was really up there. Although Ray Emery, remember the infamous Senator Sabres line brawl. Ray Emery was trying to go at it with Andrew Peters, who was Buffalo's enforcer. We're not
Yeah.
talking goalie on goalie crime. We're talking goalie on defenseman crime. Because remember, Emery had beat the shit out of Marty Biron and was still looking for somebody to go after.
Yeah, he had shit wrong with him.
The late great Ray Emery, and I still think about it every time the Senators and Sabres get together because Marty Biron is on the Sabres intermission report.
Oh, no shit. That's
So
awesome.
we will come to you guys next week, episode 136. We will take a look back at this weekend's conference championship games. We'll actually start looking ahead. We're vastly approaching the NHL break for the Italy Olympics. I want to say we've got 2 weeks worth of games, and then those are on pause. We're hopeful that we have some information on the WNBA season with their contract negotiations between the players and the league. We've got more names being signed in baseball, so we're locked and loaded here for a little bit. But we absolutely will be talking about the conference championship games leading into our Super Bowl preview in 2 weeks.
So we will talk to you guys next week in this format, and I like this, James. I really do. I'm going to bed early tonight. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's my Switch just got a nice little 90-minute rest, and it gets fired back up until I mean, hopefully I don't lose power with this storm because that would suck. It's because I'm on my
Yeah,
favorite
it would.
scene of Final Fantasy VII right now.
Nice. Nice.
Everybody
So
have
we will
yourself
see you guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Everybody stay safe regardless of where you are when you're hearing this. This storm is going to take It's gonna roll through in about 36 hours. It's probably gonna take everyone 2 or 3 days to recover from. So everyone be careful. That's also including my co-host who's actually getting, the back end of it down there in Georgia.
Yeah, we'll be good. But especially you take care of yourself. Be safe.
Good night, everybody.
See you, everybody.